Hey, welcome to Kicking with Computer Science. Today we are continuing our Java tutorial focusing on Java Swing. Specifically today we're going to work on adding buttons to our game, to our control panel. In the first two tutorials we started working on building a game. We added a frame, which is a main window, and then we added a game panel or a J panel on top of that. A panel, as I mentioned last tutorial, is a container for other components. So here is the panel that we worked on. Within this game panel, we added a control panel um, with a south layout, and the idea there was to put buttons onto this control panel. So let's just run and see where we are. All right, so this is where we left off last time. We've created the basic tennis court for Pong. This is the center line. We don't have any paddles and we have no way of controlling things. So let's start working on that. First thing we want to do is add a JButton. So we'll define a JButton and we'll call it the start button. And we need to instantiate it. New button. And we'll call it start game. Okay, so we've got a button and we want to add the button to the panel. So we'll do a little slow toe. Clips was trying to download something. Okay, so add component, and we'll add our button, and so let's save it and run it and see what we got. All right, so we have a button. That's a good news. And if you click start game, it does absolutely nothing. So we need to add the ability to listen to those button clicks, and what's required there is an action listener. So we'll add an action listener, and what we want to do is define a new class called button listener. Button listener. And you can see Eclipse is complaining that it doesn't know what a button listener is. But if we click over here in the gutter, we can create a class. So we're creating button listener class, and it's going to be an implementation of this action listener interface. So we'll go ahead and create it. There's our button listener, and it's put a to-do here. Let's just add a print line so we know when this action perform method has been called. System out print line, and we'll just say button clicked. Okay, so now we've got an action listener. We'll save it and we'll run it. And now when you click the start button, you can see button click. So what's happening there is, again, we've assigned a action listener, a event handler to this button. The button listener implements this action listener interface. So when you click on the button, this action performs method gets called and it passes an action event. And the action event, this method is called, which does a system out print line. Let's remove the to do while we're in here. And also arg0 is not a good name, so we'll just change that to say action event as our parameter name. Okay, so now we want to add a start button and a quit game button. So we'll copy this and add that. The text is quit game. Call that the quit button. Add it. Add it. Grab the quit button. Add it to the panel. So I'm adding a new instantiation of button listener. Probably we could use the same one. We'll leave it at like this for right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. And you can see the start button and quit button have been laid out next to each other in a row. That's kind of the default nature of the flow layout. So we click on start game, button clicked. Oops, lost my window. Quit game, button clicked. Well, what's the problem with that? We don't know which button was clicked, so we need to have some handling for each button. And so what it turns out is the label is actually passed to the button listener in the action event. So what we can do is if start game equals action event dot get action command. So if that's true, then we'll grab this and let me just add an else statement. And so this will say start button clicked. So normally I would say it would be better to check to see if quit game was is the condition, but we'll just go with an else statement for right now. If it's not the start button, then all we have is quit button. We'll just need to fix that. So make this caps for consistency, and then let's run this. Okay, so start game, start button click shows up right here, and if I click quit game, quit button. So obviously when you click these, it's just printing something out. We actually want it to start the game and quit game, but we haven't built the rest of the game. We'll do that next time we meet, but for now, that's it. I'll catch you next time on Kicking with Computer Science. Bye.